What's up, everybody? This is John Bush from Armored Saint, and the focus is on metal, so turn it up. Focus on
Hey, Metalhead, Scott here.
Richie.
Welcoming you to another episode of Focus on Metal. We happier this week?
Yeah, we're fine. We're good. We're good. All that Aussie talk.
Happy as we can be, right?
Mm-hmm. Had to be done. It's good to go down memory lane about an iconic person like that, you know.
Speaking of memory lane, people that follow us on X probably have seen, I was very surprised, and it'd be interesting how this all works out, but the fact that John Bush decided to revisit his Anthrax albums.
I love it.
I do too.
I absolutely love it. I think...
Talk about albums that don't get like the appreciation they should. Those are all such fucking great albums.
Well, he's been asked about it in interviews for many, many, many years. And he has said that at some stage he would love to revisit the albums and do it. Now, he's had to go out and do it on his own, which we'll get into in a minute, the band that he has. But I don't think it was ever going to happen where he was going to go out with the Anthrax guys and do it again.
No way.
I think that they're all settled with Joey and that's it.
Yeah.
They've been back together now for a long time. Oh,
They'll have that new album out any day now.
No, yeah, God, don't start. Apparently now they're going to have a new song out by the end of the year.
Is it called Chinese Democracy by any chance?
My God, just bring the album out and then we'll talk about it again. I'm to talk about dragging something out. Don't get me started. So yeah, John has been asked about it for years. He's been out there now with Armored Saint. They do, a sporadic amount of shows, but when they tour, they tour.
Yep, they do. And they're great live.
Yeah. So obviously now he's decided that it's the time to do it, and at the time we're talking here, he's announced 3 shows, I believe. One is in LA, I think one is in Illinois, and one is in New York.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes, people are probably going to ask him, can he do more? Hopefully, he'll join the dots between LA, Illinois, and New York, and he might play somewhere else. But a promoter has obviously come out and said, right, we'll book the shows and you can come out and do it. So I think it's fantastic. He's doing it. I think it's similar to what Sammy did with Joe.
Yeah.
That when Roth got back with Van Halen, there was 4 albums that Sammy did that the band Eddie was going out and they were ignoring.
Yeah.
So for years they were, ignoring all the Hagar stuff. And then when Eddie died, Hagar decided, right, I'm going out with Mike and I'm going to play a shit ton of the Van Halen stuff that they didn't play with Roth. I think John now, he's got the 4 records with Anthrax.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of love out there for him.
Oh, yeah.
And he's decided now to get a band together that has Phil Demmel, who of course played with everybody. He's like Ira Black. He's one of these guys that you can plug him in and he can play all different styles. And I think I remember interviewing Bobby Blitz backstage at the Palladium, and I was comparing Phil Demmel to a Swiss Army knife. That all these tools were in the same thing, that he could do this with and that and this and that. And Bobby just started laughing and said, yeah, that's a good comparison. Phil can play anything, or do anything. So he's got Mike Orlando, of course, who we know from probably Adrenaline Mob more than anything else. Yep. Jason Bittner, who played with Overkill. Yep. I can't remember who else he played with. Was it Shadows Fall? Yep. And Joey Vera on bass.
Of course.
Yeah. And they're going to go out and do songs just from the 4 records. And it's going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It really is going to be awesome.
Those are great albums. And I know there's a lot of people that are just kind of like Joey or nothing. kind of a thing. But it's like, those are great albums. Yeah, there is the sound different. Yeah, of course it is
different. He doesn't sound like Joey,
but they're really well put together. And I almost compare it to Ronnie joining Sabbath, and Heaven and Hell comes out, and you're like, holy shit. And it was the same kind of thing. So you got, like, in the case of Sabbath, you got 3 albums, and it was done, and then another one afterwards. But with Anthrax, it was that same thing where it's like, wow, this is like, hopefully this can continue. They were just like so solid, really, really good albums. Yeah.
I think for most people who love the Bush era, I think The Sound of White Noise is probably going to be their favorite. That seems to be the pick that I see out there a lot. That got reviewed really, really well when it came out.
Yeah.
And it only went gold. And they signed this big contract with Elektra, who I think did the band dirty in the end, that they didn't. I think it might have been the usual bullshit story, some of the A&R guys left or some new people came in. The usual.
Elektra has a track record.
Yeah, the usual thing where you sign a big contract, somebody leaves, they're the person who pushed the band, the new person comes in.
They only care about the
band they who are you? I wouldn't have even signed you anyway. That sort of bullshit. But a great record. They got Dave Jordan, of course, who produced it, who was probably at the time one of the hottest producers out there. He'd done Dirt, he'd done Facelift, and it was a different sounding Anthrax record.
Yeah,
but it was still. I still felt it was just a great record for that time period.
Yeah,
and it all still holds up to this day.
Yeah,
as being a fantastic metal album, that I don't think got the dues that it deserved. I think it was a hard time for metal. I know Pantera were doing really well, but you hope that the likes of Anthrax would ride that wave in '93. That
right.
It
was a tough time.
It was a tough time. Megadeth were changing their sound too. They were going from Countdown, which is more commercial, to the Euthanasia, which you could probably say was even more commercial sounding. It was slowed down. It wasn't as intricate. Anthrax, new singer. Metallica with the Black Album, and then at that time you'd Overkill with I Hear Black, and they were kind of changing their sound a little bit. Death Angel were gone. Testament had lost members. They were coming out with Low, which was a great album as well. But and then Slayer were just being Slayer, not changing anything. But Anthrax, they kind of got lost. Did you see them with John Bush?
I don't remember seeing them.
Okay, I did, and I have a couple of. I saw them. I saw them on the Stomp tour, and I remember the day of the show. And bear in mind now, I'm living in Dublin, in that city, right, and I'm in town a fair bit at that stage. The day of that show, there was an ad on the radio that Anthrax are playing in the SFX that night. And I was like, what? I didn't fucking hear about this. Right? So the ticket was £10. And there was a band opening for Fu Manchu. Do you remember them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I knew nothing about them. And I got into the venue, and I'd say the venue held about, if it was 1,000, it was a lot, right? I'd say there was probably 100 people there.
Yeah.
Right? So you had Anthrax on a major label with 100 people playing a show. And I didn't have, the album had just come out, I didn't have it.
Okay.
Right? So I just remember they came out, they opened with Random Acts of Senseless Violence and Fueled. And they played 4 or 5 songs from the record. And they were fucking incredible. Right?
Yeah.
And there was fucking nobody there. I was fucking, that's the one thing that annoyed me. It's like, you have this fucking great band coming over here to play a show.
Yeah.
And there's nobody at the fucking venue. And it's a tenor.
Yeah.
Right? And so they did some of the Joey stuff then as well, and then some stuff off Sound of White Noise. But when I look back on that now, I'm thinking, the fucking label wasn't promoting them. because there's nobody at the show.
Yeah.
What were they pushing? And then, of course, they get dropped. And I saw them on the We've Come For You All tour. I saw them twice. Okay. And again, I think if I was to pick my favourite album from the John Bush era, I think We've Come For You All by a smidgen, tiny bit, is probably my favourite. I think
a smidgen over Sound.
Yeah, okay. But Stomp is right up there as well. There's a lot of people, that they've got a love for Volume 8.
Yeah.
That I put that at the bottom, and it's far from shit now. It's really good.
Yeah, they're all good.
They're all really good.
Yeah.
But if I had to rank them, I think We've Come For You All, and then Sound of White Noise, and then right below that Stomp, and then Volume 8. But I saw them twice on that tour, and both times they were fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing. Just on fire. And then they got back with Joey.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. But when you read Scott's book and Frank Bellows' book,
yeah,
the turmoil in the band at that time, because of the market out there and the music business, was a nightmare.
Yeah.
That there was just no money. I think when Volume 8 came out, I think the label folded or something, more or less around the same time.
Yeah.
And what do? You have an album out and you've no fucking label giving you a hand to promote it, and it's 1998. And in some ways you have to admire them for persevering, because lesser bands who probably wouldn't have had the experience the Anthrax guys had, probably would have gone, oh, fuck this is a waste of fucking time. I'll go back washing cars or fucking getting a regular day job. But John Bush coming up with Armored Saint, and all the drama he had with Chrysalis and Armored Saint in the 80s, that they wanted to be more or less a straight metal band. And I think Chrysalis were saying, I want to hear more commercial stuff. We have to sell records. And so he would have gone through all of that. And then, of course, he would have had, the time when Dave passed away, Dave Pritchard. And then he joined Anthrax, and the Anthrax guys going through all the turmoil with getting rid of Joey. And I think as well that some of the fans were kind of getting a bit jaded with them, with the shorts and the Bermuda shorts and the rap stuff and all that. It's like, what sort of band are you?
Yeah.
That they always came across when it came to the big four. They were the funny ones.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, how far can you go with this without the fans turning on you? And then they came up with fucking Sound of White Noise, which is not funny at all, really. A lot of serious fucking subjects on that. And I know Persistence at the time had some serious subjects on when it came to the lyrics, but Anthrax were turning as well into that darker period, and I think that suited John's voice. And, so John, and the other thing is, John can still sing the stuff.
Yeah, he's still got a great voice.
Yeah, and he's going to have the band behind him that will do justice to that stuff. And there's people going to be out there and they're going to say, right, well, where are you playing? You're playing in New York. And which guys from Anthrax still live in New York? Are they going to get up and play with you?
I don't think.
Or does Scott live in LA?
I think he lives in LA.
Yeah, but where does Frank live? Like, it wouldn't surprise me if...
Oh, Frank might still be there.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise... Because...
He'll go do a duet with Neil.
But I think... There's a lot of, I don't know how often they're in contact with each other anymore, but I don't think there's hatred there.
Yeah.
Between John and the other Anthrax guys. Do you remember that podcast they did a few years ago where they were going through all their albums? It was like one of the anniversaries of the band. So it could have been the 30th or the 40th anniversary. So they went through all the records with all the musicians, right? Yeah. And when it came to the Bush era stuff, they had John on it talking about the albums.
Okay.
Right. So, of course, John had to be amenable to all of this and willing to do it. And he went ahead and he did it. So I don't think it's a case of I'm not fucking getting up on stage with him. I haven't seen him in 15 years. I can't stand the guy.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any of that anymore. And to be honest with you, they're too fucking old for that bullshit anyway.
Yeah.
So it would be nice if...
Yeah.
They got up and did, Frank or Scott or someone got up and they did the encore and they did Only.
Yeah.
Or or something like that. But
I have a feeling Joey'd have a hissy fit.
I don't think so.
I think he would.
No, I don't think so. If one of them did it, no, I don't think so at all. How is that going to affect Joey Belladonna's bottom line in Anthrax? It's not.
Oh, it's not.
It's it's 3 shows. You might get up at one show and play a few songs. Like, the thing is, right, with Joey, right, they did albums with another singer. Like, you can't just deny that.
Yeah.
You know, they're out there. So
there is this, but there's still.
Yeah, but
I have a prima donna story about that. That if it wasn't for Joey being a prima donna about Neil, I would be on a Dio tribute album right now.
Okay.
Because Neil was going to be the one singing that track.
Okay.
I mean, we had an awesome group of people, and I would have been playing bass on it, but it was and it was only because it was, well, if he does it, I'm not going to be on the album.
Okay.
But yeah, otherwise I'd be on a Dio tribute album doing Children of the Sea.
But
with Patrick Johansson and who's playing guitar? Can't remember now. But yeah, and it was all gonna get recorded, like my tracks, guitar tracks, all that. They would have been recorded on this frickin' rack.
Yeah, but I get it. If you're Joey, that you don't want to do a lot of John songs in the set.
Sure.
I get it 100%, and he does do Only, and they might have done maybe one more from The Sound of White Noise. But if John is singing the songs and any of the other Anthrax guys want to get up and play with him,
yeah,
that's just a complete. You're not singing them anyway, so just how is it affecting you? Now, it's all a pipe dream. It mightn't actually happen. We're just going down a rabbit hole here, but I can never understand that with singers anyway. But then again, I'm not this lead singer's disease.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, and they think that the world revolves around them, and we'll leave it there. But yeah, it's good. They're going to be, interesting shows.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to one of them. I really would love to go to, because how often are you going to get to hear these songs? John's not the sort of guy that.
What I'm hoping is, and again, could be a pipe dream, is going to be okay putting these 3 shows out. How are these tickets going to? How are these tickets going to sell? The Illinois one is bizarre. L.A., New York makes sense, but it might be okay. Well, how is everybody's schedules? Because this is kind of like everybody else has got something else to do too, right? That's probably playing into some of the booking. But then it's okay. Well, those sold pretty good. Let's try seeing if we can put one in, the Agora Ballroom. How does that do? Okay, let's try this, So they might do some just little extensions and see. I don't know if they do a full tour, because I'm sure these guys are like pulling off of something else, probably dropping in, doing this, and going back to what they're doing.
But here's the great thing about doing what he's doing. When he went out with Anthrax before, he always had to do the Joey stuff. Mm-hmm. Now he can pick and choose whatever he wants now.
Yeah.
Sure, there'll be people that there's certain songs that he has to have in the set. He has to have Only in the set.
Yeah.
Probably room for one more. Probably the singles.
Yeah.
But after that, he can go wherever he wants with those 4 records.
Yeah.
And he can, more than likely, they're going to play stuff live that he mightn't have done before.
Possibly, yeah.
Because you're looking at 40 songs, roughly 40, 45 songs, and he's probably going to play 16, 17 of those, and they're all going to be from his era. I
wouldn't doubt, though, that if he does, at least one, classic Joey era Anthrax
I hope he doesn't.
Too.
I really hope he does not.
I bet he will.
No, I don't want him to. It's those 4 records or nothing.
Yeah,
there is no point in John Bush getting up on stage doing Anthrax material now and singing a Joey song. There is no
I'm
point.
sure there's still plenty of people that saw those tours that loved how he sang those songs too, and when he would be, they'd be like, "Oh fuck yeah, it's pretty cool."
No, wouldn't want it.
To do a bunch of them, no.
No, I've heard him do them. I've heard him do Indians. I've heard him do Madhouse. I've heard him do fucking Antisocial.
Yeah.
And then Joey's out there singing them as well now. So just do the Anthrax stuff that none of the Anthrax guys are doing.
Yeah, I'm just saying that you got to remember, I mean, you're trying to also go out there and please a crowd too, and that's kind of like we're just going to throw this out, throw the curveball.
But it's been
out.
advertised as the first four, or the 4 albums he did with the band, and that's it. So just do that.
We get a different opinion on it.
No, I just don't do Joey stuff. I remember seeing Robert Plant years ago in Dublin, and I admire him. I admire Robert Plant tremendously for what he's done solo, where he's gone with his career.
Yeah,
right. He's gone everywhere with it. It's like, I'll play in a club. I'll stand if there's a band on in a bar that I like. I'll get up and I'll jam with him. Right. This is fucking Robert Plant, one of the biggest rock stars going. Right. He did a tour in Dublin years ago. What was that album? It was a Dreamland. It was all covers.
Okay.
I think it was more or less all covers. And he played this small club in Dublin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the whole fucking point of the show was all he was doing was covers.
Yeah.
Right? The whole show. It was advertised the whole fucking 9 yards, right? Of course, these 2 dickheads standing next to me, pissed off. He didn't do any Led Zeppelin songs. I'm like, are you for fucking... I said nothing, but I felt like turning around and saying, did you not fucking read the poster? Did you not read any of the press at all? He's not doing any of that.
Yeah.
And that's what I admired about what Plant did that night. It was like, I'm just going to do stuff. You're going to get one off, or maybe, you might get some of it on the next tour. I'm not going to do what you guys want me to do. I'm not going to do just all Zeppelin. Mm-hmm. And even when he does Zeppelin now, he rearranges the whole thing. It's all different.
Yeah.
But he did all these covers, and it was fantastic. And I want John Bush to just do his era, and that's it. Just do those 4 records and fuck off, and I'd be happy.
All right. I still wouldn't mind him.
No.
Throwing one out. But
Nope.
That's me.
None. Don't do any. He's not doing Metal Trash and Mad from fucking Fistful of Metal. You know what? You know the other thing is, why didn't you do any Armored Saint songs? Oh my God, really? You're probably going to get people saying that as well.
Yeah, possibly.
Go see Armored Saint then.
Yeah.
It's not as if they're not playing shows every now and again.
But, I mean, the difference being is that you're going to, essentially, he's doing the songs from Anthrax. So he's not doing the songs from Anthrax and Armored Saint. He's doing stuff from Anthrax.
Do you think with the material that John did, and it's been talked about for years, and he said it for years, do you think in the last year or two there's just been a greater love for that era now to make him want to do the shows, or no?
There has been recently a lot of going back and looking at albums from around that time period.
The 90s.
Yeah. And people just going back, oh yeah, you know, I had that album, or I had this album, or, oh yeah, I remember, you know, and granted at that time point too, people might remember the album cover and like one song. But yeah, there's been a lot of that, and recently.
So people are appreciating it more. Like Eye to Eye and Smoke This. Or Shadow Life.
Hey, when he played some of the stuff off of Smoke This with the current band, it sounded really good. I'll give him that. It sounded good.
So what do you think of George Lynch Mob being put to bed, and now he's gone out, it's George Lynch and the Mob? You seen that?
Yeah. I did.
And it's I think Andrew Freeman's the singer.
When I saw it first, I was like, what the fuck? We just had the final ride. Like,
and you believed him?
I believed him.
Oh, no, you didn't, did you?
And, I mean, I knew he was going to do projects and shit like that, but to have something that's like, he could... So, for one, was the fact that that band was working really well together. Singer was fantastic as well.
It was good.
Like, live, they were really putting it out very well. It was like, this is really good. The thing I thought might happen was going to be, and when they said the thing with them and the Mob, was that the band that was opening for them on that last tour, George had been working with the lead singer for that other band. She's actually the girlfriend of the bass player, his bass player.
Okay.
And so I thought, okay, maybe that's what this is this project that he was doing with that is going to become like a new band with her singing. She also plays guitar too. And it was like, okay, maybe that's what they're doing. But then it was like, no, he's doing something else. But like, why did he call it that? I think if he'd called it anything else, it would have been like, oh, okay, well.
Oh, we didn't have to call it anything. He should have just gone out as George Lynch. People are going to see Lynch Mob primarily to see George Lynch. Yeah. So if you go out now as George Lynch, you're going to sell as many tickets.
Yeah.
So why call it and the Mob? Just drop that.
Yeah, it was. But I was kind of like, and that's, like I said, that was probably the big thing of like, wait a minute, you've called it on Lynch Mob, and now you've got George Lynch and the Mob. I'm like, what the fuck?
But if you go out as George Lynch,
yeah,
and I know it's his band and he can play whatever he wants, but if you add Mob anywhere in it,
mm-hmm.
you kind of not limiting yourself, but you're backing yourself into a corner where you have to play this bunch of Lynch Mob stuff. Whereas if he went out as George Lynch, he could play anything from his career.
Yeah.
And maybe not play as many Lynch Mob songs. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking, because he's done a lot of stuff outside of Lynch Mob.
Yeah.
And Dokken.
Well, the last tour, I mean, he primarily was all like Dokken and Lynch Mob.
Yeah. But that's what he's doing now with George Lynch and the Mob, isn't it? Same
the time
thing.
Before that, he did throw in a few other things from like one of the solo albums and shit. So he does vary it up.
Mm. But I'd say the set list is very similar.
Yeah, and a lot of the other stuff is a lot of studio stuff to that. It isn't like it's written to be a project and be like recorded and put out as opposed to something that's like kind of lean and playable live.
Maybe a lot of it didn't sell either.
Yeah, there's that too.
But with George Lynch, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, there are going to be a lot of people that will go and see him
mm-hmm.
that are a massive fan of his guitar playing, that have more or less everything he's done, or a lot of it.
Yeah.
Because they're just a fan of his playing.
Yes.
So they'll know a lot of stuff that he doesn't have to do the same 15 songs.
Typically what you find, because I'm one of those people, is even if you have all of that stuff, you are actually going to still be more familiar with more of it than other stuff in it. So you're going to be more familiar with all the Lynch Mob stuff versus what's on Sweet Lynch.
Yeah, but I think a lot of that is when you were listening to it, how you listened to it, and the visuals, because it was MTV. And the way you listen now is different.
I was listening to most of it on vinyl on headphones.
Yeah, but I think the way you listen to music now is a little bit different to the way I used to listen to it years ago. It is for me now, anyway. My attention span now is not as long.
And
because there's other stuff I'm doing as I'm listening to music.
Stuff that was in the car, cranked.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great album. Wicked Underground, great record. That's a great record. But, I don't know, just why call it that?
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was like...
It's a paycheck, I get it.
It was a disappointment. that they did it that way, but it's George. He's going to do what he's going to do. Always has.
Yeah, 6 albums a year, and
He
doesn't have that many out. Has he had many out recently? I don't think he has. Or maybe he have, and maybe he has, and I just haven't bought them.
Yeah, I'm sure if I look over there, I've got at least 1 or 2 in the last year.
Okay. I see that Sun Red Sun has been brought out in an expanded version. I think it was an EP that he did.
Yeah.
I think Rat Pack are bringing it out, and there's extra tracks on it and stuff like that.
It's a big catalog.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He's got a great guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah. What else you want to talk about?
I think I'm done for this week.
Let's talk a little bit about how do you think Simon Dawson's fitting in with Maiden? Smaller drum kit. Have you seen the pictures?
I've not seen the picture.
You can actually see the drummer.
Well, it's probably this. I mean, if it's the same kit he's using with British Lion, yeah,
it's small.
You can't bring a Nico kit to a club. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work out.
It's funny, but I remember the first couple of pictures I saw of Simon behind the kit. I either thought that the kit was tiny or Simon was fucking a huge guy with a regular size kit. And then you look at Nico's kit and you can hardly see Nico. It's just you can just see his hands.
He's got a big kit, plus he plays his toms up high as well.
Yeah.
But, then again, I mean, Clive was like the middle ground there. Even he had his toms up a little bit high as well, but not like Nico. Nico's got a very large kit and everything's up high.
So do you think if Maiden do a new album that Nico will drum on it?
At least some of it, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think they'll do a new album?
Yeah, actually I do.
Okay, I think they will as well. They might even have already done it for all we know.
Yeah, it's probably going to be like 4 songs, and they'll each be 20 minutes long. And of those 20 minutes, 15 of it will be intro, and there'll be a 5-minute verse chorus thing, and then back to the next 15.
And then people will give out about Kevin Shirley's mix again.
Yes. I gotta stop the fucking intros. Oh my god.
One more thing before we go. Dream Theater when they're touring the US later this year, are going to play all of the new album. What are your thoughts on that? I haven't even bought the record. Have you bought it? What? I can't even pronounce.
Yeah,
Parasonic. I didn't even buy it.
I mean, it's probably part of it is probably that it's a good, Mike's back in the band. Let's really promote this.
He normally picks the set.
Yeah.
So do you think he's pushing this to play the whole thing? Because
I'm sure there's some politics.
So what they're
involved.
doing is they're playing the new album, which I'm going to assume it's Dream Theater. It's close to 80 minutes, right? And then they're playing A Change of Seasons, which is 25 minutes.
Okay.
So that's 100 minutes right there with the new record and one song.
Well, 2, you got to figure. A lot of Dream Theater fans are going to absolutely love that. Like, we're going to get to hear the whole album. Yes.
But do they want to hear the whole of the new album, or do they want to hear the whole of Awake, or the whole of...
No, I think that there's probably an excitement of Portnoy's back. Let's hear the new stuff.
Yeah, I think there's fans out there that they'll just... It's Dream Theater. They just lap it up anyway, no matter what they play. Yeah. As long as it's not The Astonishing.
So I think... yeah.
Well, I could say that, they did The Astonishing live, the whole thing. So doing the new record has to be a step up from going to hear a concert with all of The Astonishing.
Yes.
You went to that, didn't you?
I did not go to that one.
Okay, that was in the Orpheum, I think.
No, I did not go to that one.
I can imagine that, going to see an album you don't like. Fucking hell.
But, yeah, I'm sure, like I said, part of it is that whole promotional aspect of having Mike back and, do something like that. And maybe they're taking a book out of Maiden's page for a while where they were doing new album focus classic. Well,
they're the outlier out there now these days doing stuff like that. that they're willing to go out and do that, because not a lot of bands do that. It's all, let's play the 12 songs that we've been playing for the last 15 years.
Sure.
Kiss.
Deep Purple's got a fan base that listens to the whole album, and they're deep into it. It's a different type of, fan.
Yeah, the word out there is that Deep Purple have a new record more or less done. Fucking amazing. Amazing. You going to get that Rapture the Deep when it comes out, the remix? The Steve Morse record they did, one of the...
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to buy that. Definitely going to get that.
Yeah, he's a great player, but yeah, I don't know.
You're just not a fan of the Morse era as much, are you?
No, actually, I like Steve very much. It's probably the most shows I've seen of them live is with Steve.
Because they were here? Because they toured? They probably came here on every tour, did they? Did you see Deep Purple with Blackmore? Did you see the Perfect Strangers tour?
Yeah, I did.
Bastard.
Yeah. I'm old.
You probably saw the Machine Head tour, did you?
No, I see Machine Head. But, yeah, Steve's a great player. He pulled the stuff off really, really well.
Yeah, he does. He does. We could be here all night, but we got to get out of here.
All right. Shut her down.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that will do it for this week. Stick a fork in it. This puppy is done. So for myself
and me,
have yourselves a great metal week. And until we talk to you again, as always, remember, focus on metal.
Everything else is insignificant.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.